When I think of why Puritanism was important in the founding of America, I'm reminded of the West Indies and how they were settled for the intent of making profits. While no major gold or silver mines were made, sugar plantations were very profitable. I also think of Sir Walter Raleigh and his two failed settlements expeditions in 1584 and 1587. Both of these meant to bring Raleigh great wealth and fame. You can read more about Raleigh's 1587 lost colony led by John White in James Horne's book, A Kingdom Strange, The Brief and Tragic History of the Lost Colony of Roanoke. These two examples of the West Indies and Raleigh's expeditions were different than the Puritan settlements, and we'll speak to that later. The eventual success of Jamestown in 1607 would lead to William Bradford's Puritan settlement in 1620. Although there were investors that made the journey possible, the Puritans from Leyden, England, aboard the Mayflower, were daring to cross the Atlantic and settle in an unknown and possible hostile environment of the New World in order to worship freely. Dr. Don Boys, in his book Pilgrims, Puritans, and Patriots, said this: "The Leyden separatists believed that they were a kind of Israel, began to look to America as their promised land. They were willing because they felt their beliefs were being misguided by the Church of England. Here is where I see the importance of Puritanism in the founding of America. The reasons were not wealth or fame, but for the glory of God." William Bradford, in his book of Plymouth Plantation, made it clear that the suppression of religious liberty in England was one of the main causes in the foundation of the Plymouth colony. Bradford would go on to say, "As it is well known, ever since the breaking out of the light of the gospel in England, which was the first country thus enlightened after the gross darkness of popery had overspread the Christian world, Satan has maintained various wars against the saints, from time to time in different ways, sometimes by bloody death and cruel torment, and at other times by banishment and other wrongs." Bradford wanted to give the reasons for them leaving. He wanted to make sure that people understood why they were leaving England to head to the New World. The success of the Plymouth colony allowed more Puritans to come to America. In 1629, America would see a great migration led by John Winthrop. Between 1630 and 1640, over 13,000 would settle in Massachusetts. This great movement helped America begin and was done so for the freedom of worship. The success of the Puritans was also important because it led to others to seek out religious freedoms in America later, like the Huguenots, the Catholics, the Quakers, the Moravians, and the Presbyterians. The Puritans went to church, made laws to protect their beliefs, and helped to pave the way for American democracy. We have learned the importance of Puritans in Dr. Schultz's presentation, The Comprehensive Puritan Faith, as we heard President Ronald Reagan's words from his farewell address in 1989, paying homage to John Winthrop. The Puritans put God first, took great risks to establish the freedom to worship, emphasized a doctrine based on Scripture, and gave America its roots founded upon strong religious principles. As we just celebrated 242 years of independence, honor our men and women who protect our liberties and worship freely in our churches, let us remember Winthrop's challenge from his City on a Hill sermon. "Therefore, let us choose life, that we and our seed may live by obeying his voice and cleaving to him, for he is our life and our prosperity." Thank you very much.